Willkommen, and we are back on PopCulture Reacts with Nina Hagen. And this time, Auf M Bahnhof Zoo, or in English, at the Bahnhof Zoo.
We're going to the zoo, zoo, zoo. You can come too, too. I don't think it's that.
I'm guessing it's probably not, but
No,
then again, this is Nina, and who knows? It could be a version of that.
it could be. It really could, couldn't it? I mean, I think this lady knows no boundaries. She won't be pigeonholed or pegged in by expectations. She will create what she wants to create, and I think that's why we love her, don't we?
Yes.
I think we've both got a whole lot of love for her. We've said before, doesn't mean we'll always love what we're hearing. Sometimes it won't hit for us, but I always want to see
what she does.
What she does. I think no video for this one, but like hugely compelling, both musically, vocal delivery, often lyrically, and often visually. It's a, I don't know, it's a kind of roll of dice. Don't know what number you're going to get, do you? Like, oh, and actually, that's a bad example because I guess in dice you actually know the range. It's like rolling 8,000 dice and trying to predict what all 8,000 numbers would be, in the order they come out,
So, shall we go to Bahnhof Zoo?
Yes, and the way you said that, it does sound. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be this, but just the way you phrased it makes it sound like it's going to be a nursery rhyme, or like a kids' TV theme tune. But I can't imagine. But let's stop talking about the zoo and let's do this.
Süßes Kind, sag geschwind, wer bist denn du, ey? Süßes Kind, sag geschwind, wer bist denn du? Deine spitzen Lederschuhe, deine zerfetzten Rubberstockings, dein Minirock aus Einkaufsnetz, dein Schlüpper mit der Queen von London drauf, Silver Jubilee. Auf dem Bahnhof Zoo im Damenklo. Auf dem Bahnhof Zoo im Damenklo. Ich muss hungrig sein. Süßes Kind, dein Widerstand hat Fuß und Hand. Dein Herz zerriss, ich hob ihn auf, ich küsste dich, du küsstest mich, wir küssten uns. PS, ob blond, ob schwarz, ob braun, ich liebe alle Frauen.
Well, first things first. For anyone who was sat through us talking about it before it, who is probably screaming or has already typed a ton of comments, it's only sort of subsequently when I was reading the lyrics and on it, it had that it's a train station and not a zoo.
Yes.
So yeah,
With-
we know that now. I didn't know that beforehand.
Which makes a lot more sense lyrically
Well,
than
yeah. Well, yeah. Once you get
hooking
into
up
the song, yeah,
hooking up with people and talking about what clothes they're wearing in a ladies' room at a zoo is very different
Yeah.
to
yeah. I
in
mean,
a train station.
it probably happens, but I would say less rare than at a train station. Yes, but I just saw some pictures of train stations. As train stations go, looked lovely. But yes, so we're not going to the zoo. We're going to train station. What do you reckon? What do you think about that?
This one's quite a weird blend because musically it sounds like it's a 70s, what we would class now as classic rock, sort of middle of the road. Could be like a Journey or a Chicago or someone like
But
that.
bit of funk mixed in here and there as well,
Yeah.
wasn't there? But yeah, very 70s, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
very 70s, and it was made in the 70s, so fair play to it.
But then with as we always get with Nina, the really interesting avant-garde sort of punk delivery over it and the storytelling over it that shouldn't match and shouldn't work, but does. It sits on it so well.
The kind of inclusions of some of the intonations of like sort of going hee hee at the end of a word, or making a noise in relation to the lyric that's just been delivered.
Yeah.
You're right. It somehow sits over that music, and maybe because I've not heard a lot of people do it, and I think maybe that's why it springs out right the way up to her kind of going into her vocal, more operatic-y kind of delivery of notes by the voice rather than words. I think it blends really, really well. And you just said about that 70s music. Yeah, there's I don't think it was probably the musically groundbreaking for when it come out, let alone hearing it later. But I still think it was done really well. I think it was very. I imagine if I'd heard this in the 70s and I was able to listen to music, I'd been 2 when this came out, so I probably wouldn't have got it. But I think I would have really liked it. And like quite often, my brain goes back to like 70s TV shows and probably just sort of rocking into the 80s, the stuff that you watch on a rerun. So like I felt like the music that was happening in this would sit as perfectly in the background of or like as a playing somewhere in an episode of Starsky and Hutch as I would if it had been in an episode of The Sweeney. So I even felt
Yeah.
like it was kind of those stylings of music that were used internationally. So yeah, it did really draw me in musically.
And yeah, it's lyrically just storytelling and provocative and especially for the time, massively risky.
Well, and that's I'm glad you sort of said that because that's obviously I think one of the key parts of this song, isn't it? And I don't know what 70s Germany was like, but I can't off the top of my head I can't think of tons of music that was talking about being a lesbian, probably that was being released at the time or released of anyone with any kind of notoriety probably. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I loved about it, I absolutely love this about this, is bearing in mind I've grown up now many years later in a world where, and don't get me wrong, I know it's still shit out there for a lot of people, but thoughts, theories, feelings, and the way that things are talked about has changed a lot. And but this still absolutely tricked me because right the way up until I got to the last line, and obviously not speaking German, I was reading it. She was hooking up with a fella, and I think that's what was so impressive for me. Of going, oh yeah, what a dickhead, but also at the time, yeah, very powerful. I imagine because if it's still, and I'm gonna say tricked me, but if I still filled in the blanks myself now with a 2023 head on, I can only imagine how people would have absolutely hook, line, and sinker gone down the man woman woman meets man in I almost said zoo again, in train station toilet, and things
Yeah.
happen. We've heard this story, we've seen this story a million times, and I think that I hope that it was massively impactful for people when they heard this in the 70s and when people heard it in the 80s, 90s, and
Yeah.
above, right the way to today when we're hearing it and reacting to it. But yeah, really good, really impressed with how she delivered it.
Yeah. It's a there. I think I twigged by about the second verse and it was
Well,
like the rubber, the mini skirt and the
Well, so like not to sort of make myself look really daft. One of the reasons why I still didn't twig at that point is I thought what the lean was going to be this is someone who dresses very differently. You know,
yeah.
kind of a bit more of a punky man or like a progressive sort of man, and you know it does use sort of terms as panties, which you know like generally is equated to females. But I thought that was part of it. I thought it was almost like I thought that's where the song was going. Was
Yeah.
you know she's attracted to this person because they're different, but different in what they wear rather than you know at the time being like a same-sex relationship. So yeah, like really got me, and I thought it led me down a path that it wasn't, and I was like brilliant when I actually got the path that it was.
Yeah.
And I think it was termed such a sweet kid. I don't know why. I just equate that more with sweet boy. I don't know why, but
But yeah, again, Nina smashing it out of the park. Um, as we've said, I don't think we've had two songs that are musically or tonally the same for the stuff that we've done of hers.
I think the last one we had one that we were kind of very much going, yeah, very much of its time, very 70s. It was more that it was more of a funky one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being able to play in multiple genres, and as I say, you know, like considering when she was doing like this one, so like late 70s for this, we're probably a little bit more used to that now, aren't we?
Hmm.
You know, more used to bands trying to be multi-genre across an album, or even within a song. Whereas, you know, I think she was leading certainly a big old charge for going. I want to make the songs I want to make in the way I want to make them.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on the girl.
Yes.
Another winner for me. Another one in the tick column for me.
Yes. So, Dana, let us know what you think of Bahnhof Zoo.
Any
Um,
other songs about train stations?
um,
There's got to be. There's bound to be a lot out there. It's probably some even really famous ones that I'm not thinking of. But yes, yeah. Oh, Waterloo.
I think that's about the
Train.
battle, not the train
No,
station.
no, it's train station, mate. Train station.
Ah,
Have you ever been in Waterloo Station on rush hour?
no.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it is. It's just like that song describes.
As always, YouTube your things of like, subscribe, and ringeth the bell. And until next time, good day.